What's up, guys? Just letting you know, you can now get PDFs of my webcomic Infinite Uppercut on my Gumroad. Chapters 3 and 4 are now updated. The link's in the description. Go check it out. Thanks a bunch, guys. Alright, so what's going on, everybody? Wow, Photoshop just interrupted. Trying something a little different today. Okay, so here's what I'm doing today. This isn't going to be a necessarily normal video, but I wanted to do like a little bit of, in preparation for, I guess, my new comic, and just getting ideas, or I don't know, case study, for lack of a better term, for Infinite Uppercut, at least the pages that I have remaining in the comic. I wanted to go back and just look at some of the art styles and the comics and whatnot that I enjoyed growing up as a kid, or in some cases still read now. And I wanted to actually study things about the art, or just little things that I do. I wanted to go back and look at examples of their artwork to see, I don't know, what I could pick up on or what I can necessarily learn from it. And it's been quite a while before I sat down and studied some of my favorite artists' work. Artists, I think, is not the word. Anyways, artists. I feel like there's too many T's and S's on that. Anyways, yeah, so right now I'm actually going to go through Toriyama, since it's like one of the biggest influences of mine. And I'm going to just look through his art style and see just what I come up with. Now, I already have a folder on my computer because I compiled work of a lot of my favorite artists to begin with. So I already have a folder of Toriyama stuff. I just haven't gone through it in a very long time. And I added a few sort of manga pages to this too, to sort of look through. So I was going to do this anyways, but I figured, hell, this might be something interesting to do with you guys. So here we go. Looking at this is honestly kind of hilarious. This first image, looking at all the Dragon Ball Z characters in a chibi form, especially considering Trunks, right here almost looks like chibi Trunks anyways. He looks like regular Trunks instead of future Trunks, so that's sort of hilarious to begin with. But this was initially the style that I was going with for Infinite Uppercut, and it just morphed into something different, which, not that I was actually trying to recreate Toriyama's style, but sort of that chibi look was what I was going for. Lord knows I can't copy Toriyama's style, and I shouldn't even try. The artist that does Dragon Ball Super now can't even really copy Toriyama's style, if we're being honest. But not that it looks bad, it just looks different. Okay, that was weird. Not really much. Oh my god, I wish I could have I wish when I read Dragon Ball as a child that I could have seen the pages in color like this. This looks amazing. Where did I get this from? That was guess questions for another day. But wow, that's interesting. I always hear stories about how you focus the artwork sort of heading in the direction that you want the eye to flow in. And reading this, it kind of does. Oh, I'm crazy, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't know why it's taking my eye in the opposite direction. It's like, duh, it's manga. You're reading it from right to left instead of left to right. So I'm losing my mind here. But even then, this is actually like amazing work with the speech bubbles, especially this panel right here, where it's literally focused, both panels aiming towards Tien, right in the center, and you're reading it from the right to the left panel, almost reading it in order, but you're paying attention to him in the center of it. And there's really nothing else in this panel. I love that too, and this is probably a lesson that I personally need to take in, and that's if it doesn't need to be seen, don't really show it. This is sort of a wider panel, so it's a lot more detail of the environment going on here. But these two panels here, the focus is just Tien talking. So what do you see in these panels is just Tien talking. Like it's Tien talking. There's a gradient on this one, and not even that on the other one. Like this is just Tien in a red background. But it's perfect to me. So simple, and there's not a lot to have to catch your eye. Here you have to stick a little more of the background in, only because you have Tien sort of looking at Goku. You got, it's a wider shot, so you have a little bit more of the environment here, but it's still very simplified. Also, once again, reminding me of the importance of knowing how things are supposed to look before working on it. Refer to a video I made a few days ago, or maybe even a week ago, on that subject. Another page. I mean, these lines sort of catch your attention, and all the stuff is down here. Like, yeah, this is amazing work. It's top speech bubble, and these lines are almost aimed straight at Goku, but there's so much negative space that your eye immediately travels down below, and everything is almost centered in a circular pattern in the way that it's taking place around this guy talking. And once again, the speech bubbles are aimed in such a way to where it's specifically right at him. Also, there's a lot more dialogue in these these comics than I initially thought. And I'm calling it comics for lack of a better term too. I don't want to hear people getting offended that I'm calling it comics instead of manga. It's the same thing. The speed lines on this one. Yeah, because I'm using so much gradients and stuff in my own comic, this will be stuff that's like just interesting to take note of or look at, but I don't do necessarily my work this way. I like how I'm actually sitting up comparing my work to Akira Toriyama's, but that's kind of what I need to be doing. Especially considering, to me, he's like the GOAT. But even though that's weird to say, considering I do think there are better manga artists out there than him, is he still like amazing to me. It could just be the nostalgic talking, but God, the difference in quality between, look at this page in Dragon Ball, and then I don't know, probably like 300 or 400 pages later we get this. Like, the quality change is crazy. Just look at the lack of detail in everything on this page. Yeah, it looks good, don't get me wrong, but it's so simplistic. There's not even any real shading done in any of this, like at all, and everything's so far away. Here it's far away too, but just look at this panel of Android 16. He looks like a beast. Like, that looks, it damn near looks better than the cartoon. Like, that's crazy. Who the hell colored this? Like, this is amazing. I wish I had, honestly, if I can find a way to get some colored Dragon Ball mangas now. It's something I might want for Christmas at this point. I need to start looking for this. Looking for Christmas. Who am I kidding? I'm about to look for this and get it like next week. Tien. God, even the amount of details in a panel down here like this with Tien looking down at Android 16, and it's like so much detail, but so little detail at the same time. Like, it's detailed and it's not. There's enough there to let you know what you're looking at, but there's not really much that's drawn there, even to the extent that, let's see if you can make this out on the video, but you can still see Cell and Android 17 over here in the background. I don't think I would have ever paid attention to this had I not actually been trying to break down what I'm seeing in these pages. Like I say, I'm doing this, and it's just a purpose for me to sort of look and study and, I don't know, see what I pick up on or what I don't. Who knows, I may get nothing out of this, but I just want to take a sort of look at Toriyama's artwork. I don't know why I have to do that every time I switch, but I'm also going to try to do as little editing as humanly possible in this video, solely because it's not necessarily late, but I'm kind of tired and I don't want to be sitting up all night editing video. So I want to get this out to everybody as quickly as humanly possible. I want you to be able to see this. And I truly love making YouTube videos, but I hate editing files. So yeah. For those to be such small representations of the characters in the background, I was about to say it's a lot more detailed than I really think that I would do for things that are so small, but it actually isn't. Like, all of the detail of Android 16's outfit is truly lost, as it should be. If something's that far away, you shouldn't see every nook and cranny of his outfit, but at the same time, it's shaded decent enough. So these are things that I'm sort of taking note of, because I, like with far away details, I either have a habit of, kick the table for no reason. I either have a habit of putting too much detail in there or not enough detail at all. Because it's like all the years I've been doing this, it's weird understanding like how to properly draw things that's so far away. Like, where is the fine line between the amount of detail that should be there and what shouldn't be there? And I guess it's one of those things that you only know when you do it what looks right to you, I guess. And just looking at Toriyama stuff, it's like he has enough there for you to make out everything that you're seeing and to know what you're looking at. But there's nothing really, like, he didn't draw that much. And all the surprised faces, except for Vegeta, of course. It's the man. Won't be smiling for much longer, but that's, we don't, I'm glad I didn't, probably intentional, I'm glad I didn't save any of the pages of the impending ass whooping that was coming Vegeta's way. This fight with Cell, so I'm glad I didn't save that at all. Let's skip to something different. I don't know why I've always loved, and I guess this is why I always have a knack to draw futuristic looking stuff in my art, not just in my comic books, webcomics, whatever. But okay, Windows. But I just love the way that Toriyama draws buildings and whatnot. Even though, like, houses like Goku and Chi-Chi's house in the middle of the woods, like in the sticks, it still is shaped like this. It still looks like a futuristic house. It just doesn't have all the bells and whistles and, you know, the multiple stories and levels of something like Capsule Corp, but it's still like, the way it's done just looks so unique to me. It's like I've never taken into account the stuff that I unconsciously lifted from Toriyama. It's a nice way of saying stole. But the stuff that I lifted from Toriyama just from being a fan of his work as a kid. That's an interesting way to draw Vegeta throwing multiple punches. That's a very interesting way of drawing Vegeta throwing multiple punches. He looks like a Pokemon of some sort. Like, oh my god, I can't believe I can't remember the name, but whatever the Pokemon is that used to have multiple arms. I'm thinking almost Goro-esque, but his arms actually like made anatomical sense more so than Goro's did. Which that's a comic that I need to take a gander at those old school Mortal Kombat comics as well. So I'm actually quite a big fan of John Tobias's work as well. Wow, that's an interesting pose for Goku's arm there. I'm curious of something. Go back. That's what I thought. There's a lot more shading. I wonder if after a while in working on Dragon Ball Z, because I know what Toriyama started working on Dragon Ball in like '84. He started Dragon Ball Z in like 89. So these pages here would have to be like 92, 93 or somewhere around there. Wonder if he started using more like computer software or anything to do his pages. Because, and no, I get that these pages are obviously colored, but the shading and stuff, if they simply just colored it, the shading and stuff will be pretty similar. The only reason why I bring that up is because looking at, let's take for example, Android 18 here, or even looking at Android 16 over here, there's a lot less line detail here. Like obviously there's line detail in like the clothes that he's wearing, but looking at this here from Dragon Ball, and I could be wrong, but it looks like there's a lot more indication of using lines for shading rather than actual tones. So I wonder why that change sort of took place. It looks like there's way more lines being used outside of this one with the speed lines, of course, for obvious reasons. But even this panel with Goku, there's a lot more lines than using actual tone. I don't know, it's just interesting to me. I could be just like paying attention to nothing right there, but it just sort of caught my attention with the number of lines in TN here and the lack of them in any of the Dragon Ball pages we had sort of come across. Like even here, there's lines to sort of show movement in Vegeta, but in Vegeta's actual body, it doesn't seem like there are as many lines as there were in that Dragon Ball page. If I could find one, like yeah. Like looking at Trunks here. Well, I don't know, there's still a decent amount of lines in Android 16. Not as many as was in that Dragon Ball page, but still a decent amount in Android 16 there. But then there's not as much use of lines in this image of Trunks, so I don't know, maybe that just could have been a thing with his assistants drawing. Like, I have no idea why that difference is there. That's very interesting. Boy, what I could get done if I had assistants, but so I'm assuming Cell's becoming perfect at this point. I wish I knew what this said in the background. This is one of those times where I wish I took the time to actually learn to read Japanese writing and symbols. Is that kanji? Am I mispronouncing or misquoting that? Yeah, see, I feel like there's just a lot less lines in these panels than there was in the Dragon Ball ones. Like, just over time in Dragon Ball Z, he started doing less. I don't know. Anyways, this is a pretty amazingly drawn panel here with Trunks sort of jumping into the air. And his use of sort of the ki or energy from the characters to help create that sort of I don't know, depth in the characters sort of like moving, like the way Trunks is coming into the air here. All the lines and then the actual flow from the power itself help that even more, because it gives the feeling that clearly Trunks is jumping from here all the way up to where he's risen to, and almost the amount of space that he's covered doing. Alright. Little Trunks and Vegeta training here. Wow, I shouldn't be as hard on my artwork as I am sometimes. Sort of the perspective and just the way he drew the gravity room is just, it's interesting. That's all I can say. Even their placement on the ground in this room is sort of interesting. But I guess the focus really isn't on the background as much as it is Vegeta and Trunks training. You get an idea of what they're doing. Training at 150 times gravity. I did not do this so that I could go back and read Dragon Ball Z manga, by the way. I need to stop that, but I can't help it in some of these panels. Okay. Not even much here. His use of speech bubbles is actually incredible to me, though. Like, it's such perfect placement. Also, I think I have a habit of having extremely large speech bubbles. Because my text is so much bigger than this, and my speech bubbles take up so much of the space. Or my text take up so much of the space of my panels, but the actual speech bubbles themselves do not. I don't know, it just feels like his text, or the text in this, is so small, yet he's still able to get the most out of the space that's there. Which that could be its own conversation in and of itself, because one thing that actually annoys me is drawing so much detail in a panel to just have the text completely cover everything up. And that's sort of a planning issue on my part. Though I know something that a lot of webcomic artists share, and even some professional creators from what I've seen and heard, but man, it's so annoying. But it looks like Toriyama, everything that needs to be seen can still be seen. And the stuff that you really don't need to pay attention to is either not drawn or hidden anyway, so it doesn't matter. Very skillfully done. So let's see here. I don't know why I'm so fascinated with the way that Toriyama draws large crowds. I don't know why I've become such a stickler of that. Just drawing like just large scopes of people in one sitting. He used a gradient too as a cutoff, so he didn't have to draw with so many people too. And I lost on that one. um, Once again, just amazing use of speech bubbles there. I think more than anything, that's one thing just like catching my attention. It's a nice little effect, the way that it's almost got Goku blending in with the speed lines behind him. It's kind of cool. Like I say, I don't really use speed lines in that manner, so this is all just stuff that's just something that's interesting to look at. And just like I said, the Goku's body sort of being drawn to be picked up into the speed lines itself is pretty cool. But like I say, I don't do my lines like this, so, and I don't really want to, so just being honest. But still, it's interesting to take note of. Little Trunks turning Super Saiyan for the first time. Oh, there's only one panel that actually shows. Oh, I thought something was flying in this room. Only one panel that shows the background in here. Just use the regular old base color in every panel in this, which it works. It's not really needed for you to have to, you know where they're at, and you don't really need to keep being shown the same thing over and over. So I get it. And considering that this whole panel is about Vegeta's realization that his son is an 8-year-old Super Saiyan, or however old Trunks was at the time. Okay, this is not actual manga, but hell, I look at it anyways. I don't know if this was used for like cover art or just the art inside of the manga itself. And this is definitely drawn by Toriyama. I don't think anyone else, no assistant or anything, did this particular piece. Certain assistants work, or if somebody else did artwork for Dragon Ball, I could sort of pick up on some of that a lot better than I used to be able to. Because when I was a kid, I just thought Toriyama draw, it's not a word. I think he drew like everything that was Dragon Ball, and then I got older and it's like, no, they hired some people to do the posters and some people to do the video game covers and the covers for the movies and the VHS boxes, DVD boxes, said the video game covers, but like they had guys to do different artwork for different stuff, and Toriyama just had to focus on making the manga. And even after he was done, he just had other people that were paid to sort of do that sort of stuff. That's kind of cool. I guess the area he sort of jumped from, there's an indication of where he just left from and where he's going to, I guess. Because I imagine it's not where he landed. Where he landed had to be this giant crater that the guy got knocked out of. Yeah, because he used the same sort of fake effect to highlight the impact, which that looks like it hurt, to say the least. Goku's a bit sadistic, man. Or would they just make him a masochist? I don't know. But too much enjoyment out of fighting and hurting people, but in any event, especially to be a hero. But there's a lot going on in these panels. Considering it's Goku versus Vegeta, I would expect it. Um, there are all these lightning effects and stuff like that from Super Saiyan 2 or Majin Vegeta. Like I guess it's gonna be a lot of extra stuff going on in these panels. Yeah, a lot of lines in this page, so forget everything that I said earlier about the lines in Dragon Ball Z. Or maybe not. We're back to like no lines at all. There's no extra lines, especially for shading on Perfect Set. Like there's lines for just like textual stuff, but as far as actual shading is concerned, this is all a grade. A little bit more on Android 16 here, but on Cell, like this is all just gradients. There's also like two-tone shading too. It's like that. There's the base color and the shadow. There's not even highlights in this. I think he specifically used, and this is a lesson I need to take note of. He specifically used highlights on clothes that would necessarily have a shine. He doesn't really abuse highlights too much. It's very interesting. That I'm actually like taking note of. Actually, I'm glad I'm recording this because I feel like I should be taking notes while doing this, and I'm not. But I have this video to look back on. This is when everyone was freaking out because Vegeta had let Cell become perfect. That is one of his finer moments. But Gohan turned Super Saiyan for the first time, so I picked out some great panels or pages to take. God, such an environment like this would have to be a joy to work on. They're in a void, like you just have to draw white space. Which, didn't mean to do that. For the sake of like, I don't know, perspective and whatnot, I guess that could potentially get difficult, but I don't think it would be personally. You just have to draw these characters and they don't need to have anything in the environment with them, just be white space. Then the Father of the Year award goes to Vegeta. He's punching this kid. Sorry, that's not funny at all. Yeah, it is. It's not funny, but I am laughing just at how hard he's punched Trunks in that last panel. And I love it was all on the basis that he told his son to try to land a blow on him. And when he does, he knocks him halfway across the room. It's like he did what you told him to do. What kind of behavior is this? Alright, Super Saiyan Gohan. Alright, now here we have highlights, but sort of glowing aura and stuff. I imagine that you would need some sort of like specular highlights or something going on there. And there are none on Goku, so yeah, that's a nice touch. Once again, something else to just take and put in the pocket there, but like I said, the use of speech bubbles is absolutely crazy. Like, no matter what, I'm looking at everything in the order I'm supposed to. Like I said, I picked up on the fact that I'm looking at this, I see comics, so I'm trying to read left to right. But in looking at it, my eye just naturally from the beginning was sort of carried from right to left, and just the order of how the art was presented to me. That's how I sort of knew something was wrong, or I was reading this incorrectly. It sort of reminded me that I needed to be reading from right to left. Gohan training with Videl. There's no lines really in Videl at all. Or in Trunks is, Gohan. There's a lot more lines in the background. Very simplistic backgrounds. I think this might have been why he always had characters like in the mountains or in like just plains and stuff like that, so he didn't have to draw it so much. Also, could be why those world tournaments, the crowds started looking less and less detailed. Ooh, Cell getting his tail ripped off. Yeah. It's the expression that I would imagine coming from Cell if he had his tail ripped off. So that's nice. Oh, nice way to draw water back here. Um, Once again, nice simple way to do it. And even down here, like how you can make out who the characters are and what they're doing without being able to really see much. Though, I guess it's a switching of time in the panels. It's like Cell's face down, but you have this face up reaction here. Actually, that makes no sense. Cell is face down. That's how he pulls the tail from behind him. This is clearly a face up panel, but he is face down in the very next one. So, interesting visual, but a bit of a continuity issue. Maybe I'm just noticing too much. And now we have Goku's tail getting pulled. What the hell? Why'd I get all the tail pulling pages? Oh, did he smack him onto the ground with his tail? Ah, I should have got the page before this, but in any event. Yep, he did. This is the line indication showing that Goku's splat to the ground. It's just concept art. Now, see, with Infinite Uppercut, it's interesting to see, like I said, the indications of like contact and impact with like blows or punches or like people landing or leaving the ground or anything. I sort of do this, especially in places of like impact and Infinite Uppercut, but because so much of Infinite Uppercut in my mind was based around fighting games and influence from them, I almost have like fighting game like or almost Tekken-esque hit sparks where I have these impact indications in my comic. So to see him just draw like a shape there to do it, it's like, oh yeah. Like I start off that way and then I try to make it look like video game hit sparks, even though it's a comic. Just the style I was going for. And like I said, I love how when he's drawing fast motion, he'll draw multiple legs and arms in a spot to show how quick the person's moving. Like, that's a nice touch. I don't know why I've never thought to do that before. And I've seen it, they even did that in the cartoons as well. I just never thought about actually drawing it that way. And there's Goku's first Super Saiyan transformation. Now here we only have highlights in the hair. We don't have as many sort of highlights in the skin and the shirt here this time. Though I think everything is drawn a shade lighter, it still isn't there. Oh, wow, okay. There's Goku transforming into Azaru. Okay, so yeah, I may be right. He just has the dark shading for a tone, and everything else is pretty much left white. The number of lines that he draws to show speed is the reason why it looks like there's shading on Trunks, but there isn't shading on Trunks. It's actually very nicely done, because it does look like Trunks is shaded here, but those are all speed lines. Or they're shown for speed lines. It's almost like you're getting multiple effects from just the line work that he's used here. And almost the same thing here with Cell. Because even there's indication of like two tones in just the line work of Cell, but there's no actual multiple tones there outside of the black and the white. And then here, there's clearly use of lines to show almost shading. There's a lot of cross-hatching, well not cross-hatching, but like hatch sort of shading done here. Wow, this is the manga. I thought it was the actual TV show. I think I might have just thought that just because the quality of whoever scanned this in, but it does look pretty damn close. Okay, I think a lot of this is just regular old artwork. So, Dragon Quest, some non-Dragon Ball related artwork. Just take a gander at it. What the hell is he wearing? Yeah, very unique art style on Toriyama. But, okay, so that's kind of manga related. And even the use of smoke coming away from the actual blast itself as he's shooting it this way. It looks like it's going against the, it's moving with while simultaneously look like it's being pushed back from the force of the lines going this way. So it's actually very well done. Amazing. Alright, but I'm starting to get a lot more sort of concept art related Toriyama stuff, so I think I'm gonna start there. I only wanted to look at a lot of his manga work anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna call it quits for now. Get back to working on my own comic, but I wanted to take the time out to actually do that. I may be doing it a lot more going forward, just because just interested in studying some of the stuff that I was influenced by as a kid. But anyway, that's it for today. Go ahead, leave a comment below, let me know what you think about just Toriyama's art in general. If you picked up on anything from looking at some of the artwork that I showed in this video from Toriyama's manga, specifically Dragon Ball. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Also check out the Gumroad links in the description if you want this if you want to buy chapters of my webcomic, or you could go to Tapas or Webtoon. Those links are in the description as well. You just wanted to read it for free. The actual PDFs of it is just $1. And I guess that is it. You all have a good one, and I'm out. And I'm not editing anything.